All right, we'll go ahead and get cooking. I'm Dave Lowe. I'm the CEO of ISI Federal. We help folks with data marketing and business development support in the federal government. And here's some things that you can see on the right-hand side there. Is that, there you go, or this side? I don't know which way it goes. All right, there you have it. So helping companies, we've been doing this since 2009, and that's an old number. It's over 480 million now. But we do data marketing intelligence. That's what we start out with, building the framework so that we can support you in all of your federal marketing efforts. If it hits the federal world, we know about it and we want to help you get there. We have a new platform called AMP. It is an automated marketing platform coming in. It's in beta form right now. We'll talk a little bit about that today, but we're all about buyer engagement, aren't we, Sally White?
Indeed we are, Dave.
That's right,
we're all about that.
And we're all about that because that's what it's about, getting in front of those folks. And I'm not just talking about buyers. I'm talking about federal stakeholders as well. And we help with virtual industry days. You can see VFedCon over there. GovBrief is one of the tools that we use that you're on right this minute, as a matter of fact. And we have proprietary monitoring tools that we're turning into that AMP program. Crazy. We'll talk a little bit about Quick Fuse today if you're a GSA schedule holder. Save the date. December 2nd is the next VFedCon. We did the first one, didn't we, Sally?
We absolutely did. It was amazing. First time
it was
I met
crazy.
Dave, I was in COVID hell. Excuse me. I was in COVID. Dave pops out with his team, said, come to our first of a kind conference. And it's been an amazing ride since.
That's
so excited for December.
It is crazy. December 2nd is the next one. The last one was back in November. We learned our lesson about doing it during an election year after the fiscal year. We said, well, let's push that back just a little bit. So there you have it. If you are a GSA schedule holder, go to quickfuse.com, QUIKFUSE.com, 30 days for free. You can test drive it. You can see how it works. Rodolfo, did you start getting your messages yet?
Yes. Yeah, sure.
He just signed up today. So that you just got yours today. And what did you say about logging into GSA eBuy? We know how much you love GSA eBuy.
Yes, I got pretty disappointed, if you want. I'm trying to be diplomatic here, politically correct. I really, at some point, I got so frustrated that I basically started ignoring all the emails that I was receiving, all the warnings, right, for all the RFQs and RFPs. So I think that I have a lot of expectations about Quick Fuse, and what I saw so far is, I mean, this is my first time, navigating or using the tool, and it seems pretty useful.
Yeah, it's awesome. See that? He literally signed up today. And guess what? If you don't win 500% more than you paid for Quick Fuse, it's free if you use it for a year. So there you have it. And there's a couple of things that are in there that you need to. Rafael Marrero. Hold on a second. He can't log on, but I will tell you that Rafael helps folks with their small business financing and PPP too. He's working on that right now. More importantly, in our world, when we talk about things, socioeconomic certifications like 8A, HubZone, SDV, OSB, etc. I'm going to tell him, go to Go.
So Raphael is a magician. He is amazing. I've been on several calls with him, and every time he opens his mouth, he adds value to me, clients, everyone on this call. He's amazing. Sadly, he can't get on the call, but Dave is solving that.
I'm trying to tell
him the diet. We can tell him
to get you there.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get him there, but no matter what, hopefully he can get here because he has something that he wants to talk about. We also have a couple of things that we're going to be talking about. I don't see Sean May here yet today. He may pop in as well, but we're going to be talking about clearances. Getting your clearance is one thing, maintaining it is another. And these guys are lawyers, and they will help us on the 27th Federal Practice Group. We did one with bid protests. It was crazy awesome what they talked about in helping folks with bid protests. And they also have compliance issues with contracts. These are the guys. If you are in federal contracting, you want to make sure you have a good lawyer who understands federal contracting. These are the guys. I'm telling you. Jason Moy is the man when it comes to protests as well as clearances. So you can reach out to them as well. Greg Clark will not be with us today, but if you need proposal help, we'll talk a little bit. But can you believe that, Sally? He blew us
Very
off for
sad.
getting a
Very
COVID
sad.
shot or something.
Oh my gosh.
So there you go. But he helps with proposal writing and other contract vehicles. Jamie with GSA Logic, he helps folks get GSA contracts. We'll talk a little bit about that and the importance of GSA contracts, also some of the challenges they're in. So I'm hoping that he can be with us today.
Jay-Z is awesome.
Yeah, he is. Jamie's out. I've worked with him for over 10 years, and he's never missed getting a GSA contract. Never missed getting one. And Sally, we're going to be talking about BAA initiatives, Buy and Hire American. Whoop, whoop, right?
I'm so excited. Yes, next week.
That's next week coming up, April
Thursday, the 22nd. Save the date. It's going to be very important. And Dave told me a little secret. I guess he just sent it out. We have over 1,000 people signed up. Yeah, so please make sure you get in while there's still room.
There's craziness. So anyway, that will be live on GovBrief a little bit later today after we get that up. And so Sally, tell us about you. You are with Echo Wolf. What do you do?
Yes, I'm with Echo Wolf. So I'm a force multiplier executive connector. What that means is I connect amazing, awesome, capable people with amazing, awesome, capable individuals who want to hire those people. And I do it through LinkedIn and a lot of different mechanisms. Prior to COVID, I was going around conferences, walking and stalking in a good way, like vendor kind of stalking, which was great, because you can develop relationships, you go to the booth. Remember the Chotskys, you go and get the stress balls. Well, those days all seem to end after COVID. However, ISI and VFedCon actually, as Dave said, had their first conference. I went to that. And I've been doing Zoom conferences since, and I'll talk a little bit about how you can even connect on Zoom, and when you're not live, how you can connect and establish meaningful relationships, which is the key with engaging with people.
You got that right, and we're going to be talking about that as well in just a few minutes because you got to get out of here, I know. So we're going to get you out first.
Okay, 9:30.
We also will have financing pre-bid and post-award. What in the world does pre-bid and post-award mean, Peter Timbus? Why in the world do you care about contract funding and things like that?
Well, the pre-bid is that if you're bidding on a contract and the government requires you to have a letter of financial support, we will issue that letter of financial support, which puts you right in the ball game. And then upon contract award, we will finance your award with the receivable financing, with mobilization for payroll. We will look at you not on past performance. In other words, we look at your financial statements. But we base it on the contract and what we feel that you need to finance that contract. So for all of you that don't have a lot of history, we don't look at your personal credit. We don't look at your financial statements based our lines of credit on the financial statement. We're going to base it on what we feel you need to operate that contract. I've been doing this since 1991. Personally, I've been involved in at least 2,000 companies nationwide, helping them grow their business. I have probably 30 companies that we have helped sell their companies for millions of dollars that would never have gotten to that point without our financing. So we're real. We get things done very quickly. There are no fees to get up and running with us. And in my opinion, and I'm not biased, but in my opinion, we are the best alternative financing firm in the United States.
Your unbiased opinion, you're the best.
My unbiased opinion, we are the best. That's just from personal experience. Let me tell you, when I get involved with a company pertaining to financing, we very seldom lose a deal. And the majority of our clients, I say 6 out of 10 new customers come from our current client base. We presently have about 350 clients nationwide. We do this across the United States. We lend out about 185 million a month. And most of the clients that do come on board with us saying, geez, I wish we'd known about you 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, we wouldn't be in the situation we are. And the thing that we do, we don't mislead people. If we can help you, we'll tell you within 24 hours. If we can't, then we'll tell you that also. But we got a great reputation.
And you also specialize in 8A, and we're going to be talking about that. So watch Gov Brief, because we're going to be talking about pre and post award financing. The reason why I love this, Peter, is that folks can learn how they can leverage their financing to make them look stronger in the bid process to help them win more. So that's what I love about it. So we also have a double header on Gov Brief. We'll be doing business with FEMA on May 6th at 11 a.m. And we're also going to be talking about direct award, sole source, single response contracts. All of these are part of if this is your first time here, you're going to find something that blows your mind in just a few minutes. But we're going to be talking about how these happen and how you can use justification and approval to be able to win more contracts. Sole source, 8A's one way, right? Rafael Marrero, you there, Rafael?
I am here.
Hey, man, you're the tall, dark, and handsome guy. What happened to your camera?
It's on.
No, it's not on here, brother.
Raphael's in the house.
He's in the house, but he's tall,
Hola,
dark, and
Sally.
handsome.
He's stealth. He's being stealth.
He's stealthy. He's coming. He'll
I'll send-
figure that out.
Yeah, he
So,
will.
but we also have Rodolfo. How do you say your last name, Rodolfo?
Lavaque.
Lavaque. Lavaque.
Lavaque. Love it. Love it. Love it. So now, Rodolfo, you're one of our clients. We got quick views as well, but you're one of our clients. But we've talked about something because you happen to be an 8A, correct?
Yes,
You also have your GSA contract, right?
that's correct.
You also have helped NASA get $4 billion worth of funding by being in front of Congress, given the information for your management program, haven't you?
That's correct.
How many people here have ever touched something that got $4 billion? Just wondering. Not me. I can tell you that.
Yes.
Oh, well, Raphael, that's true. That's only because you work for a company that
Actually, it was 8 billion, but who's counting, right?
whatever. Always somebody in the room. Always somebody, and he's not
Trying to be a
even.
wise guy,
He
that's
doesn't
all.
even know how to show his face, for crying out loud.
That's true. That's what happens. I'm technically challenged.
All right. So Rodolfo, tell us a little bit about TPM because that's one of the things we want people to know about.
So we are a small business. We've been incorporated for about 7 years now. We primarily provide project management, systems engineering, and organizational change management. And we've been applying that to the aerospace industry. So our main clients are NASA and the side of NOAA that does weather science with satellites. It's been a journey. You were talking about the 8A and the sole source direct awards, and we got our first direct award on about a year and a half ago. I thought that it was going to be easier, and the truth is that it has been a tremendous challenge. I have a lot of lessons learned to share with everybody when when we're ready. And basically that's TPM. I'm looking to grow. Last year was really challenging. We got one a contract that kept us going through, but now we're starting to see the effects of COVID, and we are struggling and we're reinventing ourselves to see how we can do more efficient approach to the federal government and to expand beyond NASA.
Love it.
Excellent.
Love it. And we're working on multiple things. We got a briefing that's coming up with TPM that's going to be going out to the feds, talking about process management, change management. The holistic approach is way over my head. You got some crazy good stuff there that I can't wait to see for sure. And we're going to be talking about 8A and some of the documentation that you can provide to the program managers and the buyers
Yes.
so that you
And
can
thank-
get in front of that. Go
Thank
ahead,
you,
Sally.
everybody. Oh, I was just going to thank everybody for putting questions in the chat, which Dave will get to after he introduces everybody.
I guarantee it. A little bit about this session. It's always free. We want to introduce you to people like this, like Rodolfo, like Raphael, like Peter, like Sally, like Greg. We got a ton of folks that we like to feature. And we have over 1,000 people registered. And right now, how many we got? 226 people that are in the house, which is awesome. So we're glad that you're here. We get dialogue with the sales experts like Sally, like Raphael, and everybody here. But we also get real about how things work. We don't blow sunshine here. And there's no silver bullets in winning government business. Am I right, Rodolfo?
Absolutely.
Any silver bullets? No silver bullets. But we will talk about how we can win, help you win, and we'll show off ISI Federal and Friends. If you don't like us showing off, well, then just remember what you paid. Just saying. This is not associated with GSA or any other agency. It's provided to you for informational purposes only. If we do have government personnel here that would like to engage with people, love it, love it, love it. It's not an endorsement or an indication of purchasing from anybody here. So that gives them permission to talk. So there you have it. Participation is easy. As Sally mentioned, you can chat, you can raise your hand, you can ask questions. We'll be able to include you in this best we can. If you like the way that we're dressed today or not, you can make us disappear, but you can put the briefing controls side by side. If you haven't been on a Zoom thing, there's a doodah that you can pull, and you can make us bigger or smaller. I will get you the session handouts. I don't have them right now, but as soon as Sally starts talking, I'm going to grab them, and we'll get that for you and put those in as links, because they don't let us drop files in here. First things first, what in the world made you decide to join us today? Are you new to federal contracting? Do you have a federal contract as a subcontractor and want to be a prime? Have you had federal contracts and you're a prime and you want to grow? Or some crazy nut sent you an email? And somebody's got to answer that question. You can choose as many as you want, I think. I don't think it's one or the other. Love the fact that people are honest, that they think that I'm absolutely a nut. Am I a nut, Sally?
You are absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
You're
I resemble that
informed. You're an informed nut. And
I'm an
you are
informed
our
nut.
Yes.
I guess. What is that? That's a info nut.
Yeah.
I guess that's what that is. All right, we'll let that stay open for just a minute so we can get folks in there. We have $1.4 trillion in the 2021 budget, and more money is flowing into this. I don't care what you think politically, whatever. I don't care. Right, Rafael Marrero? You can't talk.
He's saying right. He's saying right.
I can't hear you, man. You're muted. Unmutify yourself. Man, first we can't see you. Now we can't hear you.
A lot of confidence there, Raphael. Confidence builder.
You are definitely challenged. We're going to end this poll so people can still see. A lot of folks that are new, I'm going to share this. A lot of folks that are new to federal contracting. Love it, love it, love it. Glad that you guys decided to be here. It's a great place to be because we don't blow sunshine here, but we will tell you that there's a reason why we're here. And there's $694 billion in DOD and $706 billion in non-DOD by 9/30/2021. Why is that? Why is 9/30 important? Can you talk, Raphael? No, you can't talk. I don't know what's up with your thing. Why is this important, Sally White?
It's absolutely important because that's when the fiscal year and the budget is due.
That's correct. It's ended. And it all has to be spent. Every single dime has to be spent. Dime. They lose it for this year and next year. So there you go. So if you want to get in and you want to win, you better get moving. Because guess what? We are actually in Q3. We have less than 180 days to get in front of these people, make a difference, and start making a change. And we're talking about engaging federal decision makers, specifically folks that are doing the buying and or doing the specifications for federal contracting. And I got Sally White up first because she's got to leave for a doctor's appointment in less than 11 minutes. So you are an Uber connector. Let's talk about what's happening specifically when it comes to being able to engage with people, because you are a master at engaging folks.
Thank you.
Let's talk about that. Some reasons to engage. And we can talk about that in reference to a conference/industry day. Take it away, Sally.
Absolutely. So how many people, by raise of hand, and you can simply raise your hand by clicking on your feature on Zoom, how many people went to conferences prior to COVID? I'm just going to raise my hand like this. So I probably went to maybe 3 to 5 conferences a month. So I was always on the plane, always going to conferences for government, conferences for utilities. What do we do at conferences? Well, what we do is we connect with people. We connect with people we know by reaching out to them in advance on LinkedIn and say, hey, I'm going to be in DC next week. Let's get together. We also connect with them while they're there if they have a
Love
conference
that, by
list,
the way.
hopefully. And we connect with them. We text, we have lunch, we hang out. Well, when COVID happened, that all ended for so many people. And it was rather devastating, especially for people like me and many of you who rely on those connections, rely on relationships and having people introduce us to other potential customers or prospects, et cetera. But I have to tell you, and Dave always thinks I'm sucking up, but I have to tell you, literally, ISI Federal VFedCon changed my life because it was the first outreach that I received after the pandemic hit, and all
That's
my
because it was the
conferences were
first
canceled.
one ever.
First one ever. And so I went, I had a booth. I mean, we actually could send tchotchkes and little things. I sent some metal straws and cool chocolate truffles for Echolwolf, but we could connect with people. And so I really learned during ISI. I'd never done a virtual booth before. I had to do the breakout rooms. I had to welcome people. I had to say, hey, and the team coached me and we did a great job and met so many people. And that was really the beginning of connecting with people virtually. And I have to say, I've probably done, I would scarcely say 100 different conferences where, Echolwolf presented or I just watched. But the one thing that you can do to engage during COVID is go to as many conferences that align with your business strategy. And while your conferences, talk in the chat, say hello, give your name, give your email, Sally at echowolf.solutions. I already put my LinkedIn. So connect with people. And the most important thing, if you don't know them, go on LinkedIn and say, hey, I just heard you talk on, VFedCon, or I just heard you talk on this particular virtual industry day. And I'm really interested in connecting with LinkedIn. If you already know them, say, hey, it was great to see you this morning, and they will respond. And so I've connected to Rear Admiral generals, people that I would never, they don't know me. Why would they know me? But because I go on and I listen to them and I say, you've added value to me today. Thank you so much. I look forward to engaging on LinkedIn. And we do. So really important to do that. So lots of reasons to engage. Virtually is just like live. We want to create relationships. We want to add value. And anything I can do to be of service, just reach out to me. And as part of this team, I'm happy to spend time in a call with you free. I'm not going to, try and, you don't have to do a swipe or a Venmo. I'm happy to be of service to you. Any friend of Dave's is a friend of mine.
Well, that's awesome. And I love you. So let me ask you this. When you're thinking about connecting with somebody, the reason I put that up there to listen, how important is listening?
It is uber important. So I have a client in Park City. I live in Park City, Utah, home in the 2002 Olympics. And this client is a adolescent child integrative psychiatrist. And she has a machine called a TMS machine. It's transcranial magnetic stimulation. It's an innovative therapy. So one of my jobs is to get more people in Park City to be aware of her. So I started making calls to chiropractors. And I went online and there was a chiropractor's office and they do concussions. And I basically crafted an email, made it really targeted. And then I said, can we meet today? So I literally went at 4:45 yesterday. And with mask to mask, I have my my Echolwolf mask. I sat and listened to him. I don't know anything about concussions. He works with the NFL, works with hockey. So I listened very carefully to what he was saying about the brain and concussions. And I said, oh, well, Dr. Melissa is a brain researcher. She does MRIs, and it changed everything. And had I been all interested in kind of selling or getting my agenda across, so listening is important. We want to understand what brings value to them and their company and how we might be able to be of service to them. Listening, very important.
And because without listening, how are you going to connect? It can't just, and I love it. Every time you talk, it's always about what somebody else is doing. And she does this naturally, by the way. And I call it sucking up or buttering up or whatever it is. But guess what? We all respond to people that listen to us. We all want to engage with somebody that's paying attention to what we're doing, not just for our own benefit. Certainly, we have selfish ambitions, and we need to get things done to be able to do business together. But when we help somebody else, it's all Zig Ziglar thing, right? The more people you help get to where they want to go, the more people help you get to where you want to go.
And it's interesting because when I first started out in relational databases and software and applications, I wasn't really that informed. I mean, I'm a biz dev MBA type background. So some of the things they'd be talking about, I wouldn't always know what they meant, but I take really good notes and I would just type everything. Because I thought,
Crazy good notes.
even if I don't understand it, someone is going to understand it. One of my engineers, someone much smarter than I. So I would take really good notes, and then I can go back and say, based on what you said today about how being in alignment with the Navy and how they're doing a new strategy to do optimization for digital marketing, I think that Data Glance has a solution that may help your war fighters. I never used the word war fighters before I started working with Dave and the team, but that's what's important to the Navy and the Army. So I use the word war fighters, not, it can help optimize your systems. So listening, writing, taking good notes, and then making sure that they know when we reflect back to them that we understand what they're saying is really, really important.
Listen to somebody paying attention to you. Patricia Murr wants to connect. I really like this selling to the government going on right now. Thanks for making it possible. You kidding me? I'm definitely connecting with you. Here you go,
Wonderful.
Patricia. Case and point on the fly. Love it. Absolutely fantastic. So Sally, I know you got to get out of here. Thanks for joining us. And I got you up front. We'll talk a little bit more about reasons to engage, but thank you so much.
Thank you. I look forward to connecting all of you on LinkedIn. And just one more thing.
Yep.
You probably already know this, everyone. But in your chat, there's 3 little dots and it's next to the chat. If you click on that, it'll say save chat. And when you save the chat, it shows it in your folder. So you basically can save all of the things we've talked about and all of our LinkedIns.
All right. So I'm going to talk because Sally, you also help people get their LinkedIn pages looking
I do.
good, right?
And my annual checkup called me and they're late, so I'm fine. We can
There
keep
you
going.
go. Oh,
Yeah,
there
I'm
you
good.
go. So Sally, so what do you need? You need some help from Sally, help get your LinkedIn in shape with your engagement messaging. Fantastic with that. Build a team. She also helps assemble teams for teaming on a response, or you can just reach out to say hey to Sally because she's awesome.
Here's my cell phone.
So there you go. So while that is happening, let me ask you a question. What is the number one thing that the government says to do if you want to get to business with the government? What do they tell you? They tell you, hey, go watch beta.SAM.gov. It's easy. That we put everything on beta.SAM.gov. Rodolfo, do they put everything on beta.SAM.gov?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So we're going to talk about getting real about this. I'm going to tell you about the 90-second challenge. You can get to that at isifederal.com. I looked at it today and it actually still works, which is good news. And I'm going to end this poll in 5, 4, 3, 2. If you want something from Sally, click it. 1, 0, boom. All right. I got done with that. We'll get rid of that one. Excellent. Sally, we'll get you information on that. There's like 30 folks that responded to that. So here we go. Taking the 90-second challenge. And if this doesn't blow your mind and prove what Rodolfo just said, here we go. There's 2 places that you can find this. It's all supposed to be on Beta SAM, but it's not working right. Shocking, right, Rodolfo? The GSA is not working right? So there you have it. So here we go. All RFP, that's everything that was publicized for RFP solicitations, right? These are all solicitations, 127,622. It's not quite right. They change these on occasion, but it's around 127,000. You can do it for yourself from ISI Federal. You can get there and do the challenge. Now let's take a look at this. FPDS is the place where they report all the contract activities. That means all the executed contracts and purchasing that happens in the federal government. Look at these numbers, 127,000 to 6.2 million. Now I'm from Baltimore, hon. Something's not right with these numbers, hon. That's what I have to say. Guess what? That's 6.1 million. Better than 6.1 million is the difference, which means 98% are not hitting beta.SAM. Yes, BPAs, IDIQs, all those kinds of things that limit the competition. Get it? Understood. Still 90% doesn't hit. So if there's lots of competition on beta SAM, the other 98%, guess what? 3 out of 4 have less than 5 competitors. Is that your experience on beta.SAM? Is that your experience on GSAE-Bot? Is that your experience anywhere in the federal government, that 3 out of 4 of the contracts have less than 5 competitors? The answer is yes, if you're one of the 5. So what's in the way of the 98%? You ain't one of the 5. That's the problem. And if you understand what the problem is, now we can talk about solving that problem. So guess what else? 38% of them only have 1 response. Now, how does that possibly happen in the world of competition, where everything is supposed to be out there for everybody to see because they want you to compete, everybody wants you involved? Wah, wah, Charlie Brown. That's why we're going to be talking with our buddy Rodolfo. We're going to be talking about this, right, Rodolfo? Direct awards, sole source, single source, watch Gov brief. It's going to be live later today. We'll have that up there so you can sign up. We'll be talking about exactly this, how you can be sole sourced. And it doesn't have to necessarily be 8A, does it, Rodolfo?
No, no, absolutely not. And also, Dave, I wanted to mention that I might sound very enthusiastic, but I have no affiliation with ISI Federal, right? Basically, I am one of your clients, but that's it, right? So I'm very, basically, we resonate a lot of the things that you say with my experience as well. And my experience was that I was trying to, I learned coming from big companies. I used to work for Booz Allen and right, another big companies. And I learned the Shipley method, right? And then when I started my own business as a small business, there was something that didn't resonate or didn't work. Actually, it was not working at all. And then I thought, well, I need to do something that works for me as a small business, not for other big companies. And
wait a minute. You didn't have like a red team, a blue team, a pink team, a purple team.
Exactly. I got the whole rainbow, the whole colors of the rainbow. And then it was just myself writing everything, writing proposal, writing the, doing the pricing, doing the whole 9 yards. And but then I did what I do the best, which is really serving my clients and understanding and as Sally was saying, listening to the clients. And for me as a small business, I couldn't go after a big contract, but I could solve it in a small piece. So I tried to go there and figure out how to get direct awards being in the 8-day contract, right? So and I want to share that experience with everybody because, as you are saying, I think that there's much more chances for people to get contracts in the areas that they can serve than trying to go after something really big that has 15 people to compete, right? And this is my last experience, right? But I got absolutely frustrated when I submitted the proposal on the GSA schedule that I saw that it was perfect for us, and then I learned that there were 27 other proposals that were submitted. We came on second place, which was awesome.
Yeah, you were the first
for
loser.
Making me feel better, but really didn't do anything for our revenue, right?
You were the first loser, that's all.
Yeah.
Well, we will talk about that, and I love it. So folks, understand Rodolfo was in this world before, right? You were in this world before, and then started his own small business. So we understand there's a large business model and also the small business model, which is why it's really important. And you are an active 8A, correct?
Yes,
yep.
For another 4 years. For
another 4 years. That's fantastic. So there you have it. And we have Sean May in the house too. We're glad you're here, Sean.
How you doing, Dave? Glad to be here.
Yeah, man. So now, how you can be one of the 5. We're going to be talking about this. I put this into the handouts. It's a winnable opportunity matrix. We're going to be talking about minimizing the competition because that is what gets you to be one of the 5. As you can see, if you're not one of the 5, you're in the red. Why? Because if there's more than 5 competitors, it automatically creates a problem for you, and especially on your profitability. So we want to make sure. So here's the fact of life. And this is brand new for everybody. I know this is brand new, so please sit down while you read this. People buy from people they know, like, and trust. I made that up, Rafael Marrero. Yep, see? So what we want to do is we want to build relationships with buyers. We're going to talk about buyers exclusively here. And we need to answer the buyer's number one question, which is why you? If you're not answering this question, you're missing everything. Why should they let you in? And here's a fact. Buyers already have qualified resources that they like and they're satisfied with, that have existing contract vehicles that they're using right this minute. They are risk averse, they don't like change, and they already have people they trust. And they're going to keep buying from them over and over and over again, unless you do something to disrupt the pattern. I got this book from somebody, Rodolfo. Rodolfo we had a strategy session. He gave me this book. I'm like, I love this book already. Have no idea what's in it yet because I haven't read it. But disrupt or be disrupted is exactly what we're talking about here. If you're either going to be the disruptor or you're not winning. So here's what we want to do. We want to explain why we want to resonate with the buyer so much so that you're automatically giving them the answer of why you deserve to be one of the five. We're going to be talking about building relations. We're not talking about this today, but you need to build relationships with program managers as well, technical representatives or core or COTARs, whatever they happen to be the flavor of that particular agency, and also administrators and senior management. Depending on what you do, you may have to do a top-down sell and reach those folks as well. Biggest thing is you have to understand who these stakeholders are so that you resonate and your message resonates with the federal buyer. So now you can go get that. I put that in the link. If you don't have it, I'll pop them in again in a few minutes. But we're working off of the winnable opportunity matrix because we want to drive you into the green. Notice that if you don't know somebody, it's red. A lot of people are like, well, I don't know them, so it doesn't really matter yet. Oh my goodness, no. Every one of these folks have different reasons for making decisions for what they do, and your objective is to move them into the green. So here you go. This is opening up for the chat. So open up the chat and tell me what do contracting officers need from you? Let's see what everybody has to say about that. And Rafael, you're coming up because you're going to be talking about what they need in just a moment. And we're going to talk about contracting officers. So what do they need from you? A cage code. You definitely have to have a cage code. That comes from Sam. Some financial records. Clear scope of work. Love that. PDF capability statement. Make it easy. Suzanne's getting there. Love it. Who else has got something? Come on, there's 221 people here. You can't type? What's the matter with you people? Demonstration of financial capacity. Love it. Technical capability and past performance. Love it. Entity registration. YU. Love it. Performances. What are they? Entity registration first. That's your SAM record, right, Glenn? That's okay. Good. YU. Performance history. 27 pages. A couple of weeks. Past performance. They need a good deal. Ooh, Manuel's saying it's all about price. Elizabeth, attention to details. Accurate NAICS code. All of those. Chris Wagner. I like Chris. Chris is on my team. He's feeding you something right there. LinkedIn followed by... Yeah, that's what it is, Brendan. That's all you need is LinkedIn followed by Dave. Love it. Answer to their procurement challenges. Value. Love it. Know who you are. Skin in the game. Make it easy for them to do business with me. Provide a solution to their problem. Love it, Sandeep. And we have patented technology. Woo, there's a reason why you want to be there to talk about sole source award. All right, I appreciate that. Hang on to that, guys. We're going to be talking about understanding your contracting officer. First of all, they're busy. They're not going to teach you what to do. They're not going to tell you how it works. They're going to ship you right over to the small business liaison who's going to wah, Charlie Brown, and they don't have decision-making authority or capacity to buy, but they're going to throw you over there anyway. They don't like change or new things. They're experts in moving paper. This is not to diminish what they do, right, Rafael Marrero?
That's right.
Contracting officers are very important because they select the purchasing mechanism, which means they are the ones that are responsible for figuring out if it's going to be set aside for small business or sole source for 8A or competed between a choice of two. We can talk about choice of two another day, but it has to be service disabled, veteran owned, hub zone, woman owned, choice of two. They only have to compete it between two. It's crazy. They select this. They create the documents and they do want the fastest way to purchase. And who said it was easy? Somebody was saying it was easy. Somebody said, make it easy. Hang on a second. Who said that? There's a couple people that said, make it easy. I'm going back because I want to make, Suzanne said, make it easy. That was it. Suzanne was the first one. Suzanne, shoot me an email, dlow@isifederal.com. I got a book coming your way because that is absolutely the main buying motive, is make it easy for them to purchase from you. And that is one of the parts there. So if we're going to make it easy for them, there's other people that talked about capability statements and your SAM registration, all those things, and socioeconomic set-asides. And I have with me Rafael, the doctor is in the house, Rafael Marrero. Now you're helping people with PPP right now, right, Rafael?
That is correct. We're doing PPP. We're also helping our clients with augmenting their existing economic injury disaster loan because the threshold on that has been increased. We do 7A loans, 504 loans, USDA loans. I mean, all small business lending for the federal government with the SBA and the USDA we handle, in addition to FEMA emergency funding.
Love it, love it, love it. And you also help with socioeconomic certifications. And if you look at his logo right there in the yellow, the ducks are in a row. What does that mean, doctor?
Means you need alignment. You need to get your house in order before you do business with the world's richest customer. And part of it is being contract and procurement ready. So we like to have, if you can qualify for a socioeconomic certification, we can help you with that. We're experts at it, and we have 99.9% approval rate. We also provide assistance with government contracts funding, and we also work with non-federal governments, such as state-run programs, such as the U.S. Department of Transportation DBE program.
And that's important to know, right? Because a lot of these things stem from that, and there's money going to be flowing down through the states as well. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's talk about how you can, you have in your presentations that I've been a part of. By the way, the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce affectionately refers to me as what?
You are now known as the token gringo. That's on the record.
In Congress, no less.
That's right. That's right. In the halls of Congress and in the U.S. Senate, it's official. It's on the record.
It is official. Last time I was there, we were touring D.C. and we're going from place to place. And so we pop in the elevators, and folks from Texas were standing there, and they went around the other way, and they were looking at everybody, and it was clear that everybody else was Hispanic, and I had the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce thing, and I don't remember who it was. It wasn't even you, Rafael. It was somebody else that said he's a token gringo.
Actually, yeah, we were standing there, and then they looked at Dave and said, so we said, we're with the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and they looked at Dave and said, what's your excuse?
Exactly.
What happened?
Back to the program at hand. All right. So let's talk about you have your secret sauce. You happen to have written a book. Where is that book? I don't have the book. How is it I don't have your book in my hand? Oh, here it is.
Probably sold it because it's autographed.
It's right here. Here it is. Here's the book. And he's got to make one with English subtitles because I can't read the daggone thing. It's all in Spanish. So there you go. But there you have it. You can get that from Amazon. Best-selling author, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Rafael Marrero.
Well, one of the things we do, thank you, Dave. And one of the things we do is we help contractors get some rocking capability statements, capabilities briefings, marketing materials aimed at the federal government and at strategic alliances within that marketplace with potential mentors or for other partners when you're teaming as part of an effort to capture an opportunity. So one of the things we do, and we do it very well, and we do it in-house, we have our own in-house full-time dedicated staff that do branding, that designs logos, that do capability statements, contractor landing pages, websites. And we help you get all of the materials ready so that you look your best when you're going to present to a government buyer or someone that sits on the other side of the table where I've also sat, right? So to evaluate a vendor and then, or a potential purveyor of products and services. So one of the first things you need to do is on your capability statements. The capability statements has something, if one of the things you want to walk away with today is, number one, it has to be letter size. It should be no more than two sides, 8.5 by 11, one single sheet, double-sided for your introductory capability statement. And you should capture what I call the 6 C's. You need to have a capabilities narrative that mirrors what you have on dsbs.sba.gov, right? On the dynamic small business search, you should keep it down to like 255 characters so that it mirrors what you have online. You should also have all of the pertinent codes. And I'm going to just take a second here to talk about codes because many people underestimate the importance of codes. And we're talking about at the very top of your document, you should always have capability statement clearly spelled out. And you should start out with your CAGE and your DUNS numbers, right? Those codes should be at the top. But then there are PSC, product supply codes, and NAICS codes. You should always identify your primary NAICS code and say up to 10 secondary codes or commonly served, right? And then the PSC codes that you include should be related or mapped to those NAICS codes. In addition to that, you should have a section for your customers, government customers that you can reference. Also any contracts, that's another one of the C's. So contract information, how do they hire you to perform a longer than usual engagement? How can they contract with you? So in other words, do you have any contracting vehicles? How can we write up this program that you want to implement? They want to know that you've already been vetted or down selected into an IDIQ from a pool of qualified vendors, and that you've been looked at by the GSA, potentially for a GSA contract, or by someone in an agency that approved you for a BPA or an IDIQ. What are your core competencies? And I'm going to tell you right now, eliminate all the fluffy stuff, all the feel good stuff. This is not aimed at helping you feel good about yourself. It's about communicating what you do in very concrete terms to that potential government buyer or to a partner that is considering teaming with your organization, okay? And last but not least, I'm going to tell you this right now, please include your contact information. You would be surprised how many people do not, and have it on both sides of the document, okay?
Great idea.
One last tip, which is fundamental, Dave, and keep your document down to 1 megabyte, 1 megabyte, and call it your company name capability statement.pdf. That's it. Don't get fancy. Don't change the naming protocol because make it an indexable PDF.
Yep.
Okay. An indexable PDF so that they can search keywords, and that will, by the way, should be attached to every single email you send to the government, along with your DUNS and CAGE code on the subject line to make sure that they can easily get your information if they need to look you up.
Love it, love it, love it. And someday
capability.
we're going to be able to do, we're going to have the ability to hand out cards again. And you like to have this. This is a mini capability statement, ladies and gentlemen, double-sided. Keep putting your pertinent codes on there. Raphael mentioned it. This tells them that you play in their space. That's exactly what we belong here. Start to answer the why, right, Raphael?
That's right. They're going to know that you're not a newbie, and if you are a newbie, they're going to want to do business with you because your ducks are in a row.
That's right. So Raphael, help me get a rocking capability statement, a capabilities briefing deck. We didn't even talk about that. You need to get funding. Help me give me a search or something else. Please call me. Let him know what you need from him. And we're going to keep this cooking today. And I'm going to go right through this because Jamie Zell's not here, right? So he's not here. Neither is Greg. But we'll talk about selling to the government with GSA schedules, because I will tell you this. Is absolutely a great tool. Isn't that right, Rodolfo?
We have the tool. We still have to sell something through the schedule.
So it's like this. You just get your GSA schedule and boom, you go right into the money, right?
Yeah,
Isn't
yeah.
that right? Or is it a little more like this? Oh, that's a new graphic for this month, man. I couldn't resist. I'm like, somebody's got to tell the truth. So one of the reasons why we created QuickFuse, QUIKFUSE.com, is so you don't miss quality opportunities. And there's RFIs that get put out there too. So if you don't have a GSA contract, I'm gonna just turn you right on over to Jamie Zell. Reach out to Jamie at gsalogic.net. You can reach out to him, and there's his cell phone right there. And we'll keep this going. I'm not going to do this poll because we're running out of time. The other thing that you want to make sure that you're doing is you're filling out the documentations well and responding well. And that guy right there is Greg Clark. He can help you with your proposal writing. If you need help with proposal writing, reach out to Greg Clark. He will help you do that. Now, Rodolfo, you talked to Greg, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't talked to Greg?
No,
Okay.
I haven't talked to him.
Well, in that case, I won't let you know how Greg works. But he can help you with that as well. So back to the facts of the matter. All right, I'm going to end this poll with Rafa in 5, 4, 3. We got 57 people. You got to follow up with Raphael.
Okay.
59 now. Anyway, 60. We got 60. Nope, no 60. No 60 for you.
Dave,
All
let
right.
me just say, one of the things that we pride ourselves in is like the Men's Warehouse. You're gonna like the way you look, I guarantee it. No, all kidding aside, we do our best to create a great brand and a great first impression of your firm with potential buyers in the federal government. You'll see the quality of our capability statements, the websites that we put together, and again, we do this all in-house with a very talented a group of people that are dedicated to this 100%. So I like to craft the information after interviewing you. We put together a good slide and send it to you for approval. And then we design it, and the final product is just fire. It's very good.
It's awesome. And that's why everybody, if you talk to me and you need a capability statement, it gets thrown right over the fence, because that's one of the ways that you're going to start getting yourself into the green. You need to show like you belong there. Here's the winnable opportunity matrix. It's the whole thing. We want to help drive you into the green. And here's what it means to get in the green. Number one, you want to know early, 60 days or further in advance. And you can do this by when you're reaching out to these people. You can also do it by doing some research and saying, okay, there's a recompete coming up and things like that. You also want to match the sample scope of work. What do I mean by that? That means that we can be feeding the buyers and the program managers information on what the scope should look like. Is that legal, Rodolfo?
What, matching, sending the RFI that matches?
Sending them information that should be included in their scope.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's how I got my direct award.
That's right. And guess what? If you ain't doing it, your competitor is. Just saying.
No, I got it without competition.
There you go. And you want to minimize the competition. Shrink that. Sometimes you get down to justified sole source, leaning sole source. You can do that as well. You also want to drive the turnaround. If there's something that hits the street and you only have 7 days to turn it around, or 3 or 1 when it gets to September, who can respond to that? Only the people that knew about it ahead of time. That's exactly how it works. And each one of these is the way we do it. Building relationships with contracting officers. And I'm not even going to ask what you think about what some of the reasons for engagement. I'm going to talk about it right here. Sally talked about networking, industry events, keynote speakers, seeing things on video, LinkedIn, connecting with those folks, forecasted opportunity. Everybody knows about forecast opportunities, but you can reach out to them and talk about that. Maybe there's something else ancillary to that particular forecasted opportunity, or there's a current opportunity that hits the street. What about a formal debrief? A formal debrief is after you lose. That means you didn't win. So Rodolfo, after you lost that, you say, hey, why did I lose? Right, Rodolfo?
Yep.
Yep, that's what you do. And then you can also talk about a recent award win, which is one of the things that I love to be able to push out. Hey, we just won this. I'd love to talk with you about this, see if it work in your organization. What about a recent award to a competitor? Why would you want to reach out and touch the person who just bought from your competitor? My question is, why the heck wouldn't you want to reach out to talk to that person? Because that is exactly the person that could be buying from you. And that goes the same way with award history, with NAICS, PSCs, and keywords. Again, those codes keep popping up. We want to track people that are swimming in our pool. That is the methodology that we use. In fact, what if you could get set up on a system that monitored your NAICS, PSCs, keywords, and competitors' activity, and then automatically engaged you with the buyer? What do you think? That's what the ISI Federal AMP program is, the automated marketing platform that we have just built, and we're in the process of improving. It is in the beta form right now. So my question to you is, do you want to be part of the beta, or do you want to sign up when it goes live? There isn't every one of our clients, Rodolfo, is already one of the guinea pigs on the beta side. He didn't even know he was signing up for that when he signed up for our regular marketing program. But he's part of it because we want to monitor and we want to get that stuff kicked out as quickly as possible. And the reason being is we have to have a reason to be talking with decision makers for them to resonate with us and us to resonate with them. So I'm going to leave that open for just a minute, because guess what? Everybody needs to be proactive in getting out in the marketplace. And this is primarily built to build relationships with your contracting officers as well as your COTARs. Now, we also need to build relationships with the other stakeholders, with the program managers, as well as the contracting officers. Come on, do your thing. Here we go. And so we need to be able to build relationships with those people. Now, the next question that I have is, how do you reach these people? If you need to reach program managers and get all those people involved in this, you need to, number one, know your marketplace. We talked about preparing, making sure that you were set. I'm going to end this poll now. Appreciate that. We'll get that stuff for you, for the folks that want to be involved. And you need to dedicate resources. One of the biggest ways that you can resonate with folks is using GovBrief as the platform to be able to get out there to answer the how you can win in this. And the way this works is very simple. We have 1.2 million federal contacts. We proactively reach the ones that are hitting in your sweet spot. And we figure out who has their need. We ask them, what do you need? And they tell us what they need. And then because we're paying attention and we're listening, same thing that Sally was talking about. We turn this around and we go back out to them and we make you the subject matter expert in the field. That's the difference in most instances. And here, this comes from Rafael Morel. I'm sorry, man. Too many Rafaels, Rafa.
And that's not with an M too, right?
He's the CEO of Lighthouse Interpretation. Being the expert makes the difference. It helps you know ahead of time. It helps you set the budget. It helps you help them with the scope of work, and it minimizes the competition because they already are leaning towards you as a subject matter expert. We got $1.4 trillion in 2021. That's just 2021. There's more money coming next year, folks. If you want to win, you got to get out there and be proactive. So my question is, what do you need from me in getting you out in front of those folks? Do you want to be an expert for program managers and buyers with GovBrief? Everybody should say yes. Build a successful marketing strategy. Find buyers for what I sell. That we can do and run a report. If you want to do your own, that's the one you want to click there. Do you want to help in marketing to federal buyers? And do you want to reach prime contractors or something else? Let me know what it is that you have. We do have a couple minutes to be able to address a couple things. We have absolutely been talking too much, Rafael Marrero. Some folks run into a meeting, that's okay. So during this pandemic, how do you engage with contract specialists? Exactly like this. I would reach out to them directly with email, phone calls, and invite them to briefings. That's exactly what I would do. I'm only interested in getting on schedule and be a sole source, single source provider. Well, you and everybody else, Glenn. Yes, you want to do that, but you gotta, that's perfect. You need to check one of these so that you can get out in front of those folks. There's Hugh from Brella. Love it. Please give us some advice on how to better use beta.SAM.gov. It seems very painful and not user-friendly. Roy, shoot me an email and remind me that you want to be signed up for the automated monitoring for beta.SAM. We built that as well, and we can include you in that. What do you know about stress management as a deliverable? Roger, I don't know what that means, but we can certainly talk about that. Where do I send my capabilities statement for review? That goes to Rafael Marrero. That would be the best place because he will review it for you. What is the deal? What is the ideal end state where you, while you work on getting contracts to prime, getting revenue through subcontracting would be a pragmatic way to keep the lights on? Yes, could be. I would also say selling directly to other folks that are operating in the federal space as well. Mm-hmm. So Glenn says, laugh out loud. I meant I don't want to bid on contracts per se, but rather prepare a presentation for a specific schedule. Very good. Sorry about that, man. Didn't mean to bust on you so bad. Thank you for all. Got to go. Okay, Peg. April, any advice on finding micro purchases? Great question. With their 77,000 active contracting officers, they can all purchase with P cards. That's what a micro purchase is, less than $10,000. There's also another 100,000 or so P card holders, and marketing to them is the best way to do it. Let's talk about that. We can schedule a time to talk about micro purchasing. I'm going to use that as a briefing coming up. Who's the best person to talk to get me in front of government buyers? That would be me. Am I right, Rafael Marrero?
That's right.
So that's me, Brendan. I have, just like Peter, I happen to be the best at that humbly.
That's it.
I'm the best at it. I've been on GSA MAS with a solution that no one else offers, and I need to get early buy-in consideration to change from status from conventional construction, quote, design build that the government uses. Oh, love it. Steve, we need to set up a time to do a strategy session. So reach out to me for a strategy session, because that's exactly, if you have your GSA, the biggest thing is the education process. Love it. April, love it. Thank you very much. Let's see, we got a couple of hands. I don't know about the hands raised, if they're for somebody else or not. I think that is it for the moment. Feel free to reach out to us. I'm going to tell you one more time, go to Quick Views if you have a GSA contract. Let me end this poll, get this out of the way. All right, love the fact that people want to find buyers. Love it. We can help you with that today. Quickviews.com. You get 30 days test drive for free. My favorite four-letter word. And if you stay with us for a year, 500% back if you don't sell more. You can catch ISI Federal on YouTube, LinkedIn, GovBrief, all those places. Sally White was here. She's gone. But here's her contact information. I want to just say thank you very much to Sally. We have BAA initiatives that are coming up next week that you can find out. Peter Timbus, thanks for joining us and being here. You got your thing coming up, talking about pre-bid and post-award, because you can actually help people win with your financing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sean May is in the house with bid protests and compliance, as well as avoiding the gotchas in the world, and also classified. Getting your security clearances, right? We can talk about that.
Yep, coming up a couple weeks, Dave.
Yes, sir. Rafael Marrero and Company helps focus on PPP2. Oh, by the way, PP2 has to be submitted by when, Rafael?
Well, the closing date is end of May, but I would not wait, because it's on a first come, first served basis. If there are any issues with your application, we need to identify them ahead of time. And so if you think you qualify, or if you want to know if you do, give us a shout. We'll let you know.
There you go. Greg Clark, did not make it today. He's a loser. But besides that, he also helps with proposal writing. And Rodolfo, thanks for joining us. This is Rodolfo's first time in. So from right into the fire, right, Rodolfo?
Yeah, thank you for having me in.
I can't wait for ours. That we got I have a double header that day. I'm doing the FEMA presentation, and we're going to talk about direct award sole source. By the way, FEMA is one of the other ways that you can get direct, very minimized competitive opportunities. We will be back here, at May 11th at 11 a.m. to talk about how we can continue to disrupt the status quo. Thank you for joining us. Please reach out to me directly if you need anything. I'm a crazy wild man. Got back from vacation last week, so if I don't respond right away, it's because I'm losing my mind and my hair is on fire. And we'll be glad to have everybody next month. Gentlemen, lady, she's gone, but I'll thank her anyway. Thanks for joining us, guys. I really appreciate it.